So, Green Dawn. I've originally done a first impressions on this game. So the point of this video is for me to just cover through what I've learned and what are my thoughts and feelings about the game so far. I'm going to start with the boring stuff first that I will have to cover, because the first impressions post didn't adequately either cover it or it didn't cover it at all. Now, first things first, there was this login rewards that I originally mentioned in the first impressions, and that doesn't hold true through the entire game. In other words, those rewards were only for the first 7 days that you log into the game, and after that there are no more rewards. So it's not that, I would say, big a loss. I mean, it's something free and just the developer's way of encouraging you to come into the game and play in the first place. Because I'll have to admit, while the first few hours of the game is engaging, as you start to realize more and more to the game, the more mechanics, the more systems there are, it can get a bit overwhelming, and it gets, I would say, a bit it feels way too large, like there's way too many things to do, and I'll get to it soon. But yeah, those 7 days rewards, I guess it's their way of trying to get people to stay and realize that, hey, there's no real rush, you can just take things slow no matter whatever pace you're going at. This game caters to it. And that leads on to the next thing, which is about the weekly limits. So in this game there's a cap, a hard cap, I would say, a time gate on almost everything, right? So how much money you can earn in a week, how much sparks of insight this is needed for you to level up your classes and level up your character in general. Your class sparks, this is for you to improve your classes. And particles of masteries, these are used for helping your character improve its equipment, improve its access to skills. I'll go more in depth into these currencies later, but anyway, the point is this weekly limit, and this limit effectively caps how fast you can train your character. So it works both ways. One is, in a sense, there's no pressure for you to constantly grind and try and catch up with people, because it's physically impossible, alright? The maths doesn't work out, alright? There's no way you're going to be able to catch up to someone who started 5 months ahead of you. Does that mean you're at a disadvantage? Maybe yes, maybe no. The way this game works is that there's prestige scaling, so with the right skills and the right talents, I mean, there's a cap, you can't equip 5 million talents and 5 million skills, so once you get most of your build into place, it doesn't matter that you are 6 or 5 months behind, and as a result of that, your prestige, which is sort of like this indicator of how long you've been playing and how strong your character is, it doesn't really matter after a certain point, because anything higher than, I believe it was 350,000 prestige, it's just excessive, or rather excess progress. So for most people, the aim in this game is to hit about 350,000 prestige, because by then, assuming you have been building your character correctly, you will have access to most of the talents necessary and most of the skills necessary to play the game, and all the end game content, including the PvP and group raid bosses and etc. So yes, this weekly limits sort of removes the pressure for you to constantly play, and it does so by having a system in which these limits actually spill over. So the credits limit that I have a week, I believe, is only about 100 or 250,000. So I haven't been playing over about 3 or 4 weeks, and that has spilled over and stacked up, so that's why now my limit for this week is at 1,981,000. In other words, if I choose to grind and work my ass off to hit this limit, this is the amount that I can earn, and then once it resets for the next week, the limit will be back down to 250,000. And let's say, hypothetically, if I do not clear this, then my limit for the next week would be, well, 1,900,000 plus next week's limit, which is about 200,000 plus. I can't remember the exact numbers. So yes, it works across all the other currencies, and that's generally the way it works. So there's really no pressure for you to just constantly come into this game and grind every day and play every day. And I kind of like it so far. I like it that way a lot. It doesn't feel like most other MMORPGs out there whereby if you don't play for a day, you just feel like you're behind and you have to spend the weekends trying to catch up, so to speak. So you can look at it two ways. Yes, it's a total grind all the time, or be it's a game that you can drop in at any time, have your fun, shoot up some mobs, kill some monsters, train your class a little bit, make some progress, and then stop and basically feel no pressure at all. And the way the premium system works also encourages this. So premium just increases how fast you earn stuff, your weekly, and work towards your weekly limits. And more importantly, you're able to buy premiums, right, with Argons, which is the sort of like cash currency, and you are able to buy in like 3 days. So if you want to play just for the weekend and you know you're going to spend some time to play for the weekend, yeah, go ahead, just buy it for 2,000 Argons, which again is almost entirely free. What do I mean? Because it's possible for you to change in-game credits, right, the cash in-game, for Argons. This is for those of you who have played Guild Wars 2 or are familiar with Guild Wars 2 system. It works the same way, except that for now, because I guess this game, they have yet to enable the whole market currency, so it's still stuck at the whole 160 exchange rate, which is quite good, I guess. So the point is, it's pretty easy to earn about, let's see, 2,000 Argons. It's about 336,000. That's pretty easy to earn. It's honestly, if you really work hard to grind your limits, then sooner or later you're gonna have a lot of credits overflow stuck, and yeah, eventually you're gonna have all this premium access for free if you want to grind faster. Like I said, that's just the only purpose of this is for you to be able to train and grind your classes faster. The only pay to win aspect out of this is these sparks of evolution, which I will go into more depth later, but to me, I don't find it to be really pay to win. I mean, some other people might argue it is, some might not. It's up to you to decide. When I go through more in depth into how the class system works, yeah, you'll get what I mean. Okay, so that's another boring stuff cleared. Let me go through now the much more exciting stuff. Combat. Okay, I'm using the Archer class right now, which is one of the players would classify as intermediate classes, because it takes about a week of grinding for you to unlock this class. So I like to use this class as a demonstration because it very adequately covers the whole combo system, plus it's a class I'm familiar with. So now you look over at the side, there's this area called combo attacks, right? So the way this class works is that I have a choice of 3 different arrows. I have the basic arrow, sharpen arrows, I have the electric arrows, and I have the fire arrows. Alright? So sharpen, electric, fire. Now the default is always you start with sharpen arrows, and if I hit right click, I'll get my electric arrows. I hit right click again, I'll get my fire arrows, so on and so forth. And it cycles. And when I'm in electric arrow modes, I have access to these electric shots. So if I just simply click once, I'll fire off this normal shot. If I press and hold, you'll fire off this shot. And then if I press and hold all the way to the end of the bar, you'll fire this shot. So it's a combo system a bit newish, I would say. It's something not commonly seen in other games, and that makes the combat in this game extremely fun, honestly. And for that case also, it's actually quite punishing if you're bad ping, because it gets a bit annoying sometimes when the game has a random spike. But I've yet to experience it, and I'm playing on a North American server, and thus far it's not been detrimental to my combat experience yet. So your mileage may vary, and honestly there are tons and tons of different classes for you to try and use. For example, the Cryomancer is one of the base starting classes, and it isn't very combat or rather combo intensive a class, but it's still a very viable class. In fact, it's one of the viable DPS classes endgame. And this class isn't combo heavy, so if your ping isn't that fantastic, there are definitely classes out there that it's not extremely combo dependent like the archer, and as a result of that you won't feel that punished. So that's the combo system, and I mean I could continue talking about it, but I guess like they always say, demonstration is much better. So let me run off to the combat room when I can get to show all this off, and in the meanwhile I'm going to talk about the area where I'm in right now. It's known as the Hall of Greatness. Now in this game there's an additional system, a sort of like farm view style item. I might have mentioned it in the first impressions, but the thing is, this farm view style item, it's another way for you to gain prestige, right? Because it does add to your stats, but there's sort of like a catch-22 to it, because currently the way the game works is that certain stats are not as effective as others, right? And this follower system, which is this, your order, is to do with your Hall of Greatness. You gain stats from it. For example, like you can see, I'm gaining accuracy, critical chance, etc., etc. And as you build up your order, you're going to gain other stats such as like might and stamina and health. Okay, so as it stands right now, the might in this game doesn't scale as well. So if you're going to be concentrating on a DPS class, it's not your best interest to build up your order. But min-maxing aside, the main intention of this order is that it provides this farm view style game for you to play outside of the game. What I mean by that, alright, I'm going to start up. Let's go my portal. Alright, so I'm hitting the portal. Let me log in. So this farm view style game, I can actually send from a portal online minions to go and clear missions, right? These are the same missions, you see them here, okay? So I can choose to send people. In other words, I'm able to play the game outside of the game, so to speak. It sounds as ridiculous as it is, it's quite a fun thing. You know, it lets you while your time away. If you've been playing FarmVille or you've been playing those Clash of Clans, you know how ridiculously good it is for wasting your time when you want to take a short break or something like that. So yeah, let me just demonstrate by sending somebody to go do something. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to send them off. Right? And probably notice over here and there. So yeah, this is one thing that impressed me a lot about this game. The developers have really put in a lot of effort to making it as casual friendly as possible. So there's no real pressure for you to build up your order, because like I said, unless you're playing a tanking class, the DPS class, they effectively do not benefit very well from building up your order. In fact, if you build up your order, what's going to happen is that your prestige is going to be inflated. Meaning the game will scale content to your prestige. But because you're playing a DPS class, you haven't really increased your actual DPS stats, the stats that matter to your class. And as a result of that, you are going to be facing mobs that are way tougher than they should be.
An alien city is in danger.
But if you choose to play a support class,
why don't you head their way if you don't have more important things to do?
Okay, so if you're playing a support class or a tanking class, yeah, building up your order is going to be good. And I guess it's a good thing because support and tanking classes don't exactly have the most fun times in combat. Your clears are much slower, so anything to help you build up and train your character outside of combat is good. And this game doesn't really observe the whole Trinity thing, so there's no outright DPS, tanking and healer, but instead the healer is replaced by a support class. So again, there are resources out there that explains this and goes into much more in depth about min-maxing, so hit us up on Slack if you want to find out more, but I'm not going to go into depth about the classes and the Trinity and everything because I don't really have anything to demonstrate with it. But anyway, okay, back to combat. I'm going to head to the combat room whereby I can demonstrate these archers' abilities. Alright. I wish I had a camera on my keyboard and stuff, but I don't, so I'm gonna try and hope that I'm able to explain this as best as I can. Okay, so over here with a mob. Now, I'm in sharpen arrows mode. Right, I'm gonna hit once, electric. Hit again, fire. And then if I stand still long enough, it defaults back. So electric, fire. I hit again if I want to force it back to change. Right? So changing arrows takes up resources, etc. So a typical combo in a fight. Let's say I'm fighting against this is a heavy boss. So normally what I will do is I'll open with a fire arrow, fire a single shot to place a burning dot on him. Open the electric, fire again, and now there's an electric dot on him as well. And then after that, follow up with a normal shot. Okay, so sorry, I reflexively did another combo. Okay, so anyway, as a build up of this combo further would be fire arrows, electric arrows, and then with the dots ticking off, you notice that the fire dot is counting down, and then to consume it, I'll fire another different type of arrow that will do additional damage for the burning dot on him currently. A bit confusing, but yeah. So in a fight you have to juggle all this, and that's why this game actually feels really action oriented. It feels kind of fun. Well, it is really fun actually. Not kind of fun, but yeah, you get my point. So yeah, there's really a lot to this game that is more than meets the eye, and once again it's going back to the whole login rewards for the first 7 days. It's going to be really overwhelming when you first start the game, right? It's fun at the start because you're still dealing with a choice between 3 classes, and as you get more into the classes, you start to realize that there's just so much to learn and so much to master for each of the classes. And depending on your playstyle, there's a total of I think 13 classes. There's definitely 1 or 2 classes that matches your playstyle. You're definitely going to be able to find a class that fits your playstyle and your latency. So I'm gonna go into an actual combat. To show generally how does a run happen.
Thanks to the perfectly coordinated actions and bravery of all the defenders of Alien.
So right now I'm going to the main hub. This is the main hub. This is where you go and get most and do most of your missions and everything, right? There's a sudden attack, so let me clear that. At the same time I can show off the combat. And yeah, so I'm gonna try my best to explain while I'm fighting, but I'm not that good at this game, so if it doesn't make sense, hit us up on Slack again, and perhaps I would be able to better explain what I'm trying to do or achieve during
The enemy
combat.
has recently landed in the town. Emergency evacuation of civilians is in progress.
Okay, so I might as well explain some of the enemy archetypes. So over there you can see the one that I'm targeting right now, that's a specialist. So they have special abilities that normally hurt a lot. That with the dagger is, they call it the assassin classes. So they are focused on dealing a lot of damage with their basic attacks. And this is your atypical tank class. So generally most of the time people would focus the specialists first, followed by the daggers, and lastly the tanks. Now the 4th archetype is the I would say the mass minions. They are weak, and the deadliest thing about them is that they're huge in numbers, so that's all that really is bad about them. So in this game, dodging is available as well, but it's a limited recoverable resource. If you played Guild Wars 2, the same idea. Oh, that's new. Never seen him do that before. Glitch. Now to get rid of this last guy.
Perfect. The Templars will begin evacuation.
Okay,
and
I
you
didn't
need
really
to
get
get
much
to the
explanation
center
going
and
on, but
eliminate the commander of this landing troop.
yeah, so the main aim is really if you're playing a range class, because expectedly you're quite squishy, you really want to keep on kiting around.
To defuse it.
And the archer class is really one of the best in terms of kiting. Whereas if let's say I were to use the cryomancer, I would have to be more observant of my positioning. And the cryomancer does a lot more damage as compared to the archer in terms of burst, but you have to juggle your cooldowns appropriately. And you have a lot of tools, like for example my dodge has been replaced with this ice path thing, which slows enemy and damages them when they are walking on it. And I have a lot more AoEs and nukes as compared to the archer. But the main point is basically, as a ranged class of a cryomancer, you have to observe your positioning, you have to know your combos in terms of what skill to cast after another and what effects are there to really deal the optimal amount of damage. And I seem to have forgotten how to play this class. Oops. Oh, let me think. Alright, freeze. And stab. Ah, yes. Okay, got it. So yeah, the cryomancer only has one real combo, and that's the right click and the left click. And even so, there's no intermediates like the archer, whereby I have to let go in between. So it's either you just click, or if not, just you click and hold. So the cryomancer is very latency friendly. But okay, I didn't mean to cast that. So yes, let me change my class back. So changing classes is just literally a click of a button. And you can do it as long as you're out of combat. Let's see, I have a bonus objective to clear, disarm the bomb. Okay, let me aim the bomb. Get rid of these monkeys. There's one more bomb to clear. Where is it? On the other end. Okay. Mobs. I love mobs. Oh my goodness. Where the hell do you guys come from? What the hell? That was a bit too close. Okay, let me heal up. So once you're out of combat, your health regenerates on its own. Okay. So the targeting in this game, it's a bit of a mix, right? You can have total free aim, in which wherever your crosshair is, if there's a target nearby, you would see it's highlighted with a red box. Alright? And then if you hit tab, you get to lock onto the target, which allows you to do things like running away while shooting the enemy at the same time. So like now I'm facing away. I still can fire towards them. right? So yeah, I believe there's certain options for you to completely release the whole assisted aim. So you can turn it into a complete action game for yourself if you so prefer, by setting that option, which means that wherever your crosshair aims is where you would fire your skills at. So yeah, it's a valuable option if you are one of those who like it hardcore. Missions and stuff. Okay, bonus objective cleared. So in most missions you have bonus objectives, which upon clearing them you get more rewards from it. It's really straightforward. And because this game is mature enough, most of the bonus missions have guides online. Alright. Let me make my way back to the boss. Oh, one more bunch of mobs to clear. How do you all tag together? I think they all tag together. No specialist, hit them. Okay, so the area is cleared. Let's meet this boss. Waiting for my gen. Okay, so boss fights are normally straight and simple. Same thing, memorize their skills, learn their telegraphs, and then it's all about dodging and knowing how to clear the ads. So like this guy's basic attack is homing, and he has a Phantom Nuke. That's the telegraph right there. So I just need to avoid it. And it looks like now he'll be summoning ads. Is he? No, that was just a ground AoE. Oh, looks like this boss has no ads. Alright, that makes things simpler. Yeah, all he does is just Phantom Nuke and a ground AoE around him. So I just need to kite him to death. Not all that tough. Oh yeah. It's a simple boss. Okay, speeding up. Looks like this is a different phase. So I'm just doing a very basic DOT combo. I'm just putting electric arrows on him, burning arrows on him, so that I'm constantly keeping the burning and electricity up. And then whenever my burning is running out, I would try and consume the burn dot with my sharpen arrows. Sharpen arrows, press and hold, because it's part of one of my talents, which allows me to consume the burning DOT and deal additional damage. So yes, now to accept the reward. So for this mission, I'm able to choose what reward I want to get. In this case, what reward do I need? Oh, I need blue. I need blue crystals, right? Let me accept. Okay, so that's combat, the best I can try and show, really. I can't really think of anything offhand to talk about, and I've been trying to think of what to make for this video, and I really couldn't come up with anything, so that's the best I can think of about combat. If there's anything that strikes you or you want to find out more, then yeah, just hit me up on Slack and let me know, and I'll try to explain more with it. So okay, now that the exciting stuff is over, I'm going to go into the part where it really starts to overwhelm you, okay? I just chose my rewards and I chose the blue sparks of insight. And the reason why I need that is because I want to expand, I want to train my character more towards a certain point. So over here, I need the blue crystals to add to this node. And you see this blue dotted line, that's the path that I've chosen the game to mark out for me. So if you played Path of Exile, you remember. Same thing, it's the skill calculators online, they basically show you what is the most efficient path to get to a certain point. And in this game, it's really huge. I'm right now at what they call the Ascension Atlas. So you unlock this further later on in the game. Depending on how fast you rush the game, this can be like about 3 or 4 days into the game that you unlock it. Alright? And it's huge. It's really huge. Okay. This is where you start. This is the first 3 basic classes. Alright. And if you look into them, these are the nodes. So the time it takes for you to make it to a nearby class, which in this case is the Archer. So the time it took for me from here to gain all those sparks of insight, the different green, red, green, blue, to earn enough of it to make it here. It took about 1 week. Alright, so in other words, and there are a total of 13 classes dotted throughout this entire atlas. It's so big that the game, even at the max out zoom, it's really hard to see where you're going, honestly. So you just dig around and try and find what you want, and then you just click on it, right click on it and ask him to find a path for you, and then you just follow the path. So yes, there's really, really a lot to clear, to farm, really. And to throw even more depth into it, let's go into the Cryomancer. So when I started off, I started at this end. This is where you first start the game. You unlock this, so on and so forth, bit by bit, all the way. And it wasn't until once I made it to this point, and I cleared a story mission, I cleared a story mission, that it unlocked the Ascension Atlas for me. So you start the game inside either the Cryomancer. Not sure if that got caught on mic. Oh, just fly faster already. Okay, sorry, passing plane. Alright, so you start inside either the Cryomancer or the Paladin or the Lightbringer, and to make it to this special node, which you see over here, it gives you access to the main level of the Ascension Atlas, which to make it to this point, you need to clear all these nodes which need red, green, blue sparks. Alright, so to progress your class to the Ascension Atlas point, you need red, green and blue sparks. Now to progress past that, you need class sparks. Alright, you can see over here the cost. Okay, so if I were to go to the Archer, over here you see at the bottom I have Sparks of Accuracy, so this is the Archer class sparks. Alright, so to level this up I need 50, etc, etc. Now, remember how I mentioned the premium account? So with premium status, okay, second flyby. Alright, so with premium status, I gain access to sparks of evolution. Now these sparks of evolution, they sort of work at like a... My goodness, can it fly any faster? Okay, so with sparks of evolution, you gain access to these, how would I say? They are sort of like a wildcard. They can be used, consumed to, in the class tree, to level it up. Okay, so in other words, if you have a premium account, you don't need to actually play that class to level it up. So in that sense, yes, it may be pay to win to some people, it may not be pay to win to others, because that means you can use a supposedly overpowered class and just constantly use that same class to train the other classes. But I mean, this game is all about having access to any classes with one single character, so to me I guess it's a good system. It rewards people who pay an extra premium, literally. And if you are a free-to-play player, you're not that handicapped, in my opinion. Because if you're the type who don't like having things kept away from you in such a manner, then yeah, this system sucks. It sucks. But it's just one tiny thing. To me, I feel it's not that major a thing to be considered a drawback for this game. So yes, back to the Ascension Atlas. Let me just level up. Okay, I need some more blue notes. Right, now the last part about the Atlas is this mechanoids, etc, etc. So basically, you can, how would I say, you can earn specific type of sparks that are monster specific, and when you level up this Atlas, it gives you more talents, more skills, access to it, but additionally it gives you more resistance and more damage against a specific monster type. So in effect, the more you play this game, the better you are going to be at damaging enemies and etc and all that, and it's not that much of a game changer, because the difference is in terms of a single or 2 points difference, really. And in late game, yeah, this is something you worry about late game. So once again, it's something that you slowly want to work towards too, but there's no pressure if you're not going to be losing out much, especially in terms of PvP. For those of you who are inclined, you're not going to be losing out much once you hit 350,000 prestige, right? All this doesn't really matter anymore. In fact, I wouldn't say it really mattered. It probably matters once you start hitting 2 million, 3 million prestige, where you really want to min-max your damage and everything. So yeah, that's the class and leveling up system. I can explain the best I can, really. It's just massive, really, really massive. There's so much to do, right? And yeah, in terms of equipment, yeah, really basic stuff, I could say. Not much to explain to it. I really can't think of what else to really go more into without actually creating another half an hour long video to talk about. So yeah, I just basically covered the weekly limits, the login rewards, which now I no longer have, and the general gameplay combat of this game in this video. It really is just an add-on to the first impression post to explain more about this game that I feel would be best to introduce to someone who has no idea what Skyforge is all about. And yeah, my opinion of it so far is it's a really casual friendly game. It really encourages, or rather it really supports the whole idea that you can start and stop this game at any time and you will not feel like you've lost out. You will not feel as if you have been handicapped because you haven't touched the game. And that's something really, really admirable for an MMO of today. You know, most MMOs that I've played, really, the moment you stop, it feels like you lost out, you know, in the gear treadmill, in the leveling treadmill, etc. Whereas in this game, the treadmill, you can stop it anytime you want, you know. The controls are in your hands, really. And that's one thing that really impresses me about this game a lot. And so yeah, with that, come to the end of the video about this game, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit us up on Slack to find out more. Alright, see you.